So, something I was thinking about on what you can do to not only help protect your computer, but also it helps us later on if we ever need to do it, is turning on your system restore points. By default, Windows 10 does not turn them on, unlike the previous versions of Windows, so you have to turn them on manually. So usually the easiest way to get to there is you go to your yellow folder, which is your File Explorer, let that open up. Well, come on. There it goes. And then you do a right click on your this PC, go into Properties, and you go into System Protection. And here is your system protection. This is for creating system restore points. Like I said, by default is not turned on. So you should really turn it on. You check your configuration. As you can see, even though mine says it's turned on, there is no space for it. So generally you want to reserve about 5 to 10% of hard drive space for system restore files. Once you do that, you click apply and then click OK. I think it said it was on before, but there was no space for it. Now we have space for it. So now we're going to create one. And everyone should create one. In fact, create one today. If you're watching this video, make a system restore point, especially if your computer is running good, because this is where, if we need it later on, we can come back to it. So I'm going to name this one the date. And it's creating a system restore point. Now, this is what, if you talk to us, sometimes we refer to it as backstepping, where you can take the computer back to a previous time when it was running properly. There are a couple of different ways you could do a system restore point or recover from it. If your computer is operational, obviously you can come back in here and do this. If your computer is not operational, you have to go into the diagnostic mode, and there's two ways of doing it. If your computer is operational, you can hold the left shift key down on your keyboard and click the power and restart, and that will take you into your diagnostic mode. And you may have seen this screen before if you've ever had computer problems in the past. That's what it looks like. We use this a lot. Then you would go into troubleshoot, advanced options, system restore point. It'll reboot the computer and go into system restore, and then you can restore your computer to that system restore point. Now, it will only keep track of 3 to 5 system restore points depending upon how much space you have allocated for that. The more space you have, the more restore points it can keep. So just something to remember, especially if you're doing a lot of, as I mentioned in a previous video, if you download a lot of games and then delete them, or you install a lot of software and then uninstall it, making sure you've got a good system restore point is critical. So yeah, you would go into system restore point, you would put your password in, and if it asks you for one, and there it is, you go into system restore, you collect the system restore point you want, you click next, and it'll go from there. And then just follow the instructions on the screen. Can you get to this if your computer will not boot? Yes, you can, but you have to have Windows 10 on a flash drive. That's the only other way to get to it. So if you've got Windows 10 on a flash drive, you can actually boot from that. You'd have to, and it might take you a few times of restarting your computer to see it. But usually when the computer is starting up, it's usually like F10 or F12, and it'll give you the boot options, and then you can select the flash drive, boot from Windows 10 off of the flash drive, and then you can go into system repair, and then you get those options for diagnostics and system restores there, and you can restore a computer that way also. So, but yes, definitely if you don't know if your computer is doing system restore points, because like I said, for Windows 10, normally it is turned off, definitely set this up, because then you can go back to it later on. And if you don't want to, restore it from a later point yourself, you can always bring it to us and we will utilize that as a part of our repair process. But yeah, definitely, like I said, set your restore point. By default, they are not turned on, and you should really at least have one good restore point on your computer. So that's what I wanted to bring up for today. It's just a way of protecting your computer, especially if your computer is running right. It's kind of like doing backup. It takes a snapshot of your computer and preserves it for a little bit of time. So do that. Do it manually. Once it's done and set up for automatic, you might want to check it occasionally, make sure it's doing it. Or, as I tell people, do those automatic processes, yes, but once a month, do a manual one, just to make sure you have one that's there that if your system is working, you've got one that will take you back to a time that the computer was working. So system restore points, absolutely important. Do them often. So anyways, if you have questions, leave them in the comments, like, share, subscribe to the video. There is a donation link. If you are having computer problems and you just don't want to deal with it yourself, there's our phone number there at the bottom there, along with our street address. Give us a call, let us know you're coming, and you can drop off your computer. So anyways, I'm going to let you go. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later.